Yo, yo, yo. Here we are, boys. Old man Copper. My face looks sunburned, but you know what? I think it's this lighting. No big deal. So how we doing? How's everything going? Hey, what's up there, brother? Tommy, how you doing, brother? Looking forward to having a cup of coffee on Saturday morning. What are we gonna do? 9 o'clock, you think? So I will start getting to it and wait for everybody else to kind of trickle in. 9 sounds good. Great. Hey, Carolina Kirk, what's up, brother? Been watching all your reviews on all the tobacco, man, and I'm really learning a lot. I appreciate that. Trying to put together some tasting or like learn more about tasting and figure out the exact kind of ways to do it. I don't know what's up with my face being sore. No worries. So I'm gonna get to it. Oh, great. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm smoking my Rattray's Fashion Bent Billiard. What up, Chris? How you doing, brother? So I'm smoking my bent billiard. This is actually one of my favorite smoking pipes, and it was one of the least expensive. And I expensive at least cost pipes that I have, and it's really turned out to be one of the better smoking pipes. And I really enjoy it. I'm drinking a little Old Fitzgerald Bottle and Bond. Of course, to be Bottle and Bond, it has to be 7 year. I figure I went with the green bottle, green pipe, and I'm really impressed with. What's up, Caleb? How you doing, brother? So I went with all the green stuff to kind of match. I am also smoking the Briar Fox, Cornell and Deal's Briar Fox, and I'm actually really enjoying this. I was smoking a lot of the Purple Cow, and I knew that had the Maduro tobacco, or not tobacco, the Maduro cigar leaf in it, and I liked it. But at some point in time, I like cigars, but I like my pipe tobacco a little better, so I kind of started to shy away from it. But it's nice. Thing about what I like about this Bottle and Bond, this stuff, 7 year. I don't know what's going on. 7 year, and it's got a very mature taste to it, very oaky. Some custard flavors, a good mouthfeel on it. Not quite traditional because it's a little more. It's a weeder, so and they call it a weeder, but I don't know. To me, weeders are a weeded bourbon has basically the mash bill on that is like 78% corn, 12% barley or wheat, and then 10% rye. So of course, it's got a little more than the rye, so they call it a weeder. But it doesn't really perform quite like a weeder, but it's pretty good. I like it. Mm. I am smoking that. What do I got? Smoking Wire Fox. Sorry, I'm looking over things. I have to stay on freaking point sometimes. Also, I want to talk about this is a knife. This is a Winkler Blue Ridge Hunter. This is next to the Hobo Fortune Survival Pocket Skinner. I carry this probably about 50-50. And I love the Tiger Maple on this. And I'm a big Winkler knife fan. I don't know about y'all, but this thing is badass. And I really enjoy it. On top of that, what I got here? Sorry, I'm a little louder. Oh, here's it. It is a beautiful knife. Hey, what's up? How we doing, Cap? I'm wearing on my beard tonight Old Man Copper Coconut Beach Beard Balm because it's 100% spring break around here, and you slap that stuff on your beard. and it smells like coconut and just a little hint of lemon. So I dig it. But guys, I wanted to say, I was going to get into you guys some of if you saw some of the stuff that was coming up. I want to talk tonight about the trip that I took. Of course, I've got all the things I made from the blacksmith class. I want to kind of go over those a little bit. Yeah, spring break approved, 100%. I don't know if you all saw. Also, I've got four. I had my two wax products that came out about 5 days ago. Oh, a couple weeks ago, but I put them on the site just a few days ago. And then just today, I've got some new products that I put out, and I'll show you those. I'll start with that. So, as you can see, I got the new Old Man Copper. Oh, you should, brother. I got the Old Man Copper Mountain Pine patch hat. And dude, this is a dark olive with a coffee back. And dude, it matches perfectly with the Old Man Copper Mountain Pine patch. And this hat was a little more pricey. It feels waxed, but I don't quite know if it is, but it feels waxed. Freaking awesome. On top of that, I got this. You can see the Old Man Copper Hawthorne Forest Green shirt. Hello, with on the back, because I don't want to turn my back to you guys, but on the back, got the mountain pine. Everybody likes mountain pine, so I got the mountain pine on the back. This turned out really well too. What's kind of neat is the people that make my shirts. Thanks you. Thanks. Hey, what's up, Cigar Vice, man? How you doing, brother? I've been watching your stuff a lot too. What was that? Just watched your video on what was it? What brought you through to cigar smoking? I really enjoyed that, and that was a really good video. And dude, the clarity on that is awesome. On top of it, I've got a couple of patches that I had made. Of course, this patch that I have on the hat. So I've got Old Man Copper patch that's on the hat. I got my Old Man Copper patch that I have on the other hat. These are 3x3. They're really freaking dynamite, man. I love it. There's me with my dynamite stuff. So that's kind of the housekeeping stuff that I wanted to talk about. Well, what I wanted to get into is talking about the trip, show you the things I made. I know I showed them on YouTube on the shorts, and I showed dynamite. I wanted to. Someone who gave me shit about that. I think that was Tom. Gave me some shit about that. Now I'm all self-conscious about saying dynamite. I'm like, what the hell, man? Who cares? But brothers, man, that blacksmith class and that trip I just took was so much fun, and I had a blast. And running through from North Carolina to Tennessee, and then Tennessee to Georgia, and spending time with people, it was so much fun, man. I'm really blessed to be able to do that, for one, and then to have people that are welcoming me along the way and taking care of me as I go along. But let me get into yeah, Tom. Thanks, man. So what's interesting about the blacksmith class was, like, the first thing that we made was the S-hook. And everything we did. Hey, Dave, what's up, brother? Thanks for coming on. And I know you didn't fall asleep. I'm very glad, man. 416. So everything we did built on the next skill. So this was a straight piece of rolled wrought iron. And so we went through this. And the whole thing about this was bending and scrolling. So we learned how to bend and scroll over and draw this out. So this was like the first thing I made. And, brother, for the first time doing something, that's just not bad, man. A little S-hook. So I can hang that on something and then hang something on that. And I enjoyed that. So the next thing we did from there, and so that was scrolling and bending. So the next thing we went was this, which was, again, scrolling and bending. but then it was all about drawing out. This was a hook with a spike. So this is all about drawing it out and bringing this to a point. So this was actually to drive into a tree or a board. So now you have a hook. You know, if you didn't have a thing to hang a hook, now you got a thing to drive a hook into. And that was pretty good. So basically, we're doing all the things, building on everything. Now drawing out the metal, drawn out to a point, which is really pretty freaking cool. And I got to tell you though, man, it was we swung the hammer for about 10 hours. Oh, it's Chris Tall, you here, buddy? Hey, man, what's up, brother? Hell yeah, my boy. What's happening, man? I'm glad you're here. So I went from there. I did the hook with a spike, man. Hey, and Chris, I'm sorry I forgot to send you that email today, Chris Tall, with the pictures, and I'll get to that either when I'm done here or first thing in the morning, because I gotta call my daughter and we've got to have a talk. I mean, everything's cool, but I haven't talked to her in a couple of days because she's so dang busy, and now she's independent. She doesn't want to talk to Pop. You know what I mean? So I went from the spike, went over to bending as a hook with a hole. So we had to actually learn how to flatten this out, create a hole, bend and scroll, and all these things, all these skills were a consistent building up to what you were going to do with the knife. So if you think about it, the knife is going to be, so I'll just go on. So we did the striker, not the leaf striker, but now we were working into flat metal and drawing out flat metal, which is what we were going to build the knife from. And still we did the, what up, my brother? Remember seeing how pumped those biceps were? Brother, I know you were mildly attracted to me when we were hanging out, but I am single, but yeah, I don't know. But we were drawing this out, and still the bending and scrolling, and then after we did the striker flat metal, then we went. This I didn't show anybody yet. So then we went into just creating a leaf. All right. So again, we were drawing out, bending and scrolling and twisting on this, if you can see the twists, and then flattening and cutting in. So again, this drives into, oh, thanks, buddy. You like the Gibson? I like that Gibson. That's my favorite guitar. I mean, I do a finger picking on guitar. I haven't played much in it recently. And by the way, it's a great shot. Chris, you're FOS, man. I tried, man. It's the pistol, Chris. It wasn't me, but I gotta brag on you for a second, Chris. But that was pretty impressive. So all of this led up to. I know you guys saw this, but again, drawing out flat metal, drawing and spreading out flat metal, grinding, cutting. I tried to create an index here on this knife. Problem I had going on with creating this was the forge that we were working on was not getting hot enough, so I had to wait a little longer. And it was the very last. It was the very last project of the day. Of course, it should be, right? But I was doing this, and man, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was getting tired, and I wasn't. It was what it was, man. I'm not upset about it. It's solely cool. But man, dude, this came out, and this was actually supposed to be a little longer, so this was supposed to actually loop back up and create a bigger handle. But to be honest with you, I'm pretty happy with how that came out. It's a little cattywampus, if you can see. I mean, you can see where I pounded a little too much there, a little hard on the beaver on that one, and was just a little bit. I still really like how this came out, and dude, Jason over there was ground that down just the extra to get that thing going. So it was freaking dynamite. Yeah, for the first knife, man, I am really pleased with that. So what was really cool was I got the opportunity, and not opportunity, but I had a great time. Chris Tall there was yeah, man. Thanks, Chris. And Chris was very kind to me and allowed me to stay at his house with his family. And I had Chris. I Of course I said I had a great time with you, man. And I can't tell you how much fun I had with Chris. And then Chris is like, hey, man, he's got some range on his a range two ranges on his property. And Chris, I hope you don't mind me saying a little bit of this stuff. I don't want to reveal too much, but um, so we went out shooting on the property, and Chris is what I think would too. He's an expert shooter, and he's got a lot of experience with shooting. He's retired from the military, and just a hell of a guy. But we went out shooting, and I've got a staccato P with a Trigicon RMR red dot on it. You know what I mean? And I, truth be told, I hadn't shot in a couple of months. So as we're I'm drawing the weapon. You're okay. Oh yeah, man. But Chris, it's respect to you, brother. Sometimes I don't know what I should say or what I shouldn't say, and I don't want to speak for you because I care about you, man, and I don't want to be disrespectful. But Chris is, if it's okay, Chris is a retired Delta guy, and just a hell of a nice guy, man. And so we were out shooting, and I've got that uh staccato with the red dot, and I'm freaking and I'm like I'm shooting, but I can't find the dot right away. But as I'm looking, Chris is I'm kind of feeling a little like, oh shit, man. And then Chris just looks at me and goes, who freaking cares, man? Let's just have a freaking let's just have a blast, man. I'm like, no pun intended. I'm like, hell yeah, man. So I didn't care, at that point in time, I didn't care, man. And he was all about teaching, to how to press the gun forward because I was kind of bringing it up at an angle and I wasn't pressing the gun forward. And then we started shooting, and yep, Chris is in NC. Yep. And but he just to say we started going out, and he had his what was it, Chris? Was that a Glock 19 or 17 that you had that you really that I did hit it 50 yards. Yeah, I have to admit that, but that took about 5 or 6 shots. But brother, Chris was hitting 100-yard shots with a Glock 19, or it was a Glock 19, I believe. Um, yeah, I saw that CZ Dakota. I had a CZ that Shadow 2 at one point in time. I don't know why I got rid of it. I did. Um, but Chris was hitting 100-yard shots with iron sights from that Glock, man. And I was like, hell yeah, it's just cool, man. It was so cool. We were just having fun, giggling and having a good time, man. And then we pulled out his 3 right sniper rifle, and we were shooting from 100 yards. And then as we're shooting, having a good time, this police officer shows up, and we're like, I mean, it was all cool. The first thing the kid looked like he was 10 years old. And first thing he kind of does, he gets out of the car, if I remember right. He just goes, everything's fine. Everything's okay. We just had a complaint that there's some shots fired. And so the guy came over, and we spent some time talking to him, and he was just a really good fella. And we had some fun. We had some fun talking to him. And oh, is that the Glock 22? Okay, that's right. Okay, I can't remember because we were rolling through. That was at 40. That's right. You were shooting that 40. And couldn't quite remember because we went through we went through so many little guns and stuff. But Chris has a nice like a short range on one part of his property, and then he's got a long range with steel targets on another part. And we were just having a good time, man. And so we hung out for what's up, Phil? And we just had a good time, man. And I had so much fun. And the night before we had gone, was that the day shooting we went after? And we went out for dinner. The first night I got there, we went out for dinner. But Chris showed me this. Uh, which brewery was that? I really liked that brewery, but I got it. That was actually the night that I finished the the blacksmithing, and we went late. Man, we were supposed to be done at 5, but we didn't. I didn't get back to Chris's Pinehurst. That's a yep, man. That place was so cool, and really enjoyed that, man, and had a really nice time with you and your wife. And Emily's an absolute sweetheart, man, and I love her to death, man. I had so much fun, and we just we were sitting at dinner talking about it, man. They were talking about it. I asked them how they met, blah blah blah. But then I told them about my time when I was married, and talking about how my ex wife and I met in college when I was, my ex wife and I were the same age, and I was on like an 8-year plan for my bachelor's, and my ex wife was getting her literally getting her PhD in psychology, and she was my ex wife was a 2-time world champion trick water skier, and on top being a PhD, and she was drop dead freaking gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. But shit didn't work out. It is what it is. But we did our thing, and I took off. I love her too, man. Well, brother, she was kind, and it's nothing but respect, and I loved her to death, man. I really thought she's a sweetheart, man. And then the fact that yeah, yeah, oh, she was, but uh, so I left North Carolina. I can't remember the exact time I left. Pretty early in the morning, and made my way to Tennessee. And I was driving. I want to say that's I-40. I drove through Asheville and made my way over to. I drove into the end of North Carolina. I was driving through Murphy, North Carolina, which I've spent some time in, and it started raining really hard, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And then, dude, if you're from Florida, you're used to driving in the rain, and it's not a big deal. But I got right about to Tennessee, to the Tennessee line from from Murphy, and I'm like, "That ain't freaking rain. That's freaking that's snow." So it started freaking just to me. I mean, I'm sure for you guys that are up there in the north and stuff, but I'm a damn Flatlander, Florida boy. I haven't seen. I just left Grover. I hadn't seen that kind of. I've never driven in snow, and then it hadn't been coming down enough. There was anything on the ground. There's no ice on the ground, but it was like, wow, I'm driving in some serious snow. It's freaking badass, man. It's a really cool experience. I go from blacksmithing to cool shooting to a good friend, to good family, to driving in some snow, and that wasn't snow. That no wasn't okay. What was that, Chris? Was that just was that just like pissing in the wind? That was snow to me, man. I was wondering what the street value of that snow was too. I was like, man, what is the street value of this stuff? Um, but where's my tamper, man? Where's my little tamper? Son of a bitch. Oh, there he is. Okay. So, that was pretty neat. I went to my buddy's place in Tellico, Tennessee, because he's really pushing for me to move up there. And this fellow was the assistant fire marshal when I was the second in command at that was the assistant fire chief, basically. Well, not $20. Yeah. I was not by title the assistant fire chief, but by rank. I was what's called an administrative fire lieutenant. And that actually got turned into to a fire chief's position, but I was not in that position at that point in time. But it's a long story. Won't bore you guys with that. But he was the assistant fire marshal. We got to be good buddies, and so I stayed at his place. And he had this beautiful 2,700 square foot cabin with this giant basement that I got to stay in. I had my own area. And oh, it's Porch Pipe Tom. Tom, what's up, man? I always like, dude, if you guys, Tom is awesome, man. That guy, I can't say enough good things about Porch Pipe Tom, man. that interview that you did uh, with Parsimonious Piper, awesome, absolutely awesome. But I got up to his cabin, and he had 42 acres. So just like the the road going into his cabin was almost a mile long, and he of course had to wind through because of rocks and everything, but it was beautiful, man. And I spent a couple days with him, and and he showed me all this property. And but what I realized with being in Tennessee is where he wanted me to be in Tennessee. I love the property. You're literally in the mountains, but there's no health care. You got to go like an hour to a good doctor. You've got to you got to buy what's called helicopter insurance because everybody flies out instead of instead of getting kind of any kind of response from an ambulance, and then any kind of fire response. It's all volley. So basically, you get a fire in your house and you're screwed because all the volleys got to go from their house to the truck to your place, and then there's no hydrants up there, so they've got to bring what's called a pump truck and a big water truck, and so you get a fire in a place up there, you're screwed. Mm. But I had a really good time, and his wife's a sweetheart as well, man. And so I went from Tennessee, and I met my buddy Luke, which if you guys saw the video of us smoking that cigar at the Ellijay Cigar Lounge. Luke and I had been buddies. We went to the Fire Academy together, and we had a blast, man. And so did some drinking, went to the Reese Cider House, and had this. We kind of had a shitty freaking cabin. I mean, actually, the cabin itself, interior was nice, but I didn't realize Ellijay had a crappy area, you know. So it was not the nicest area, but yeah, no one messed with us, man. But it was fine. But man, what a good time. And I really have to say that, well, you know, it's pretty neat. Like the Reed Cider House, this place is, I guess, Ellijay's the apple capital of Georgia. And I always go to the Reed Cider House, and I hadn't been there in 3 months. And I go walking in, and they're like, Chris. And they go, Luke, Luke, what's up, guys? They give us a freaking free drink, and they're like, come on, sit down. I'm glad to see you. And I'm like, you need to rep here, man. Guys, we need to get Chris Tall a pipe. Anybody want to recommend a pipe for him? I was going to tell him to just get a corn cob to start out with, and get some Captain Black's, you know, cherry flake or whatever, just to start out with, so he could figure it out, see if he likes it. But that would be you need to get Chris Tall some stuff, get him into this pipe community. Dude, I just order you one, man. I'll just send you one. I've got 3 corn cobs, man. I smoke on. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Hold fast. How you doing, bro? So that kind of led me, and you know, so we did our time in Ellijay, and drove all around, and then ended up, you know, went home, and the drive home was pretty freaking good, man. It's smooth, you know. So it was a good, like I said, when I started the trip, it's about 11 hours to Voss, North Carolina, or actually Southern Pines, and then it was 6 hours from North Carolina to Tennessee, Tellico, an hour and a half from Tellico to Ellijay, and then about 9 from Ellijay home, which is Clearwater, Florida. And dude, I had a blast. I was freaking cooked when I got home, and man, I'm glad to be home, but yep, I send you one. I'm glad to be home, and it's a good thing, man. But you know, I had got home, and I had, because I don't know if you guys remember, I'm going to Georgia Bushcraft. I have to be there April 16th, and I'm selling them a vendor. Got a vendor table at Georgia Bushcraft, so I am researching how much product I should have, and I was low on a lot. So I've been doing nothing the last couple of days other than just making tons of stuff, and then of course getting these products going and getting new stuff, and it, not a complaint, it just is what it is. It's a good time. Just working my tail off because I was behind. Hmm. So in keeping to Copper is retired old school van from Copper is retired old school van from Detroit, still around down there. I don't think so, man. Old school van. I don't know. It's actually 416. I'm not sure exactly. Nozzle nuts. That's fucking fun. Excuse my language. It's funny. Uh, I don't think so. Hmm. Time for a little more. But hey, Chris, thanks for stopping by, guys. I really appreciate it. It's always an honor to have you here. Go get your family first, brother. Family first. No, I don't know the Detroit fella. I don't know. But sticking with the stories that the firefighter stories that I tell, I've got a good one for you guys tonight, and it's not quite the Vinny and Vinny with the box for the woman's vagina, but but it's about as good, all right, but it's not as gross. So I was about maybe a year on the job, and I was on truck 48, and the truck was we used to run three on truck 48, and then I was the first one to be the fourth on truck 48 because we had split assignments, two into or two on the interior, two on the exterior, and we would have to split anyhow. Uh, Station 48 and truck 48 were where the training division was, but at that point in time, our training division and our training grounds. Um, oh, your wife she loves the smell of the night raid. The night raid is the coffee, but so I end up so with Station 48, we had what's called explorers, which is all the high school kids that want to become firemen. So we go out there and then we train them. But our training grounds at the time was just a small building and then like 6 acres of nothing but just really sand and weeds, But we would go out there, pull some lines, and we had some area to train. So me and my buddy Anthony, we grabbed the Kubota, and we're not training we're at work, so we're not training the explorers, but we get out there and we're screwing with the explorers. So we jump in the freaking Kubota, and we're cruising by them, making fun of them, kind of giving them some shit, and it was a good time. But there was one kid on the explorers. He was special, really sweet kid, but he didn't have a really great vocabulary and kind of strange, and so be it, right? But we go out there and we're circling around him in the Kubota. We're doing our thing. And he looks at us and he points up like this. And he goes, "Plane crash." And we look at him and we're like, "Plane crash? Carolina, brother Carolina, if you want any, I will send you a message and we will take care of you, man. We'll fix that." But this kid looks up and he goes, "Plane crash, plane crash." And me and Anthony look at each other and we're like, "Plane crash?" So right near Station 48 is the Clearwater Municipal Airport. It's a private airport. But we look up in the air and two Cessnas had literally in the air collided. One of them was a brr, 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 and I'm still going. The other one, the wing had come off and it was in an inverted dive. And we can see this happening. And we look at each other literally like, "Oh shit." So we take the Kubota, we run into the mustache wax raise my very nice. Mensa is begging you might join. What's up, Randy? So we're watching that plane go into an inverted roll. And so we take that Kubota, we run into the station, and everybody's in the recliners because it was like a Sunday. And we're like, we got a call. So we jump in the truck. We don't even tell them, "Hey, guys, we this is what we saw. We're just freaking out. We got a call." So we run out to the truck. We're getting dressed. We didn't even tell our lieutenant what we had. And then all of a sudden, the tones go off for a plane crash at what's called the Long Center. And the Long Center is a huge aquatic center across literally a block away from the fire station. And it's got a huge pool. It's got all the gym, and it has all these camps, and it's got a huge playground. So anyhow, we get called out, and that's plane crash at the Long Center. We're like, holy crap. So we get out there, and sure enough, that plane had inverted and hit a tree right next to the right next to the playground. I mean, the kids were on the playground, and it was 20 feet from the playground, and it, like I said, it inverted and literally hit this giant oak tree, and the oak tree had gone right in the center of the plane, pushed the engine back, and then the tree had actually, like, I don't know how I should have bought a lottery ticket, because that plane, that tree sliced that plane in half. And it was like, yeah, it was freaking nuts, man. Um, yeah, it was nuts, and we're like, holy shit. So I was the junior guy at the time. I was the rookie, and so my lieutenant's like, all right, man, there it is. You need to go climb us up into that tree and see what you can see. And I'm like, all right, and then we didn't see any fuel or anything. So we're like, oh, I'll go do it. So I crawl up in there, and I'm crawling up a few branches up, and I finally get into the cab of the plane. Not in it, but I'm kind of outside of it, hanging onto it. And I'm all bunkered out. I got my gear on and everything. But I look, and I'm like, man, that is a weird thing, because like the plane seats, I'm like, the upholstery was like a bunch of mushrooms. I mean, like not like literal like patterned mushrooms. I'm like, who would put patterned mushrooms on the back of their seats? It's crazy. I'm like, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Like green with yellow mushrooms everywhere. I'm like, that's the weirdest thing. And then this giant branch was sitting on top of the seat, because this thing had inverted and sat there, and then the tree that had cut in half. And then I look, and I'm like, oh, on either side of the tree branch were ears. So one side had one ear, the other side had another ear. And basically, when that guy inverted and hit that tree came up and cut and really literally took his head off. And his ears were on either side of the tree branch. And I'm like, yeah. And there's a thing we call unsurvivable trauma. And unsurvivable trauma is basically like, yeah, I was an EMT, not a paramedic, but if you saw unsurvivable trauma and you're pretty good, you could call it. You could say, okay, unsurvivable trauma. We don't have to have any kind of medical assistance here. What we have to do is just cut the atoms. Wow, cut the guy out of a plane. So I see that, and then I tell what's going on, and then they're like, get out of there. And then something happened where the what's the I can't remember now. What's the big plane? Was it that? Not the NTSB. What is it? What's the big plane thing? Not the NFA. TS, not TS. Well, TSA is, but then there's a big plane crash investigators that are literally, I can't remember what the letters are to the thing. FAA, that's it, 100%. So FAA had gotten on the horn with us and said, basically scolded my lieutenant, said, it was an NTSB, something like that, either FAA or the NTSB. And so the main, who had gotten the horn and got us on dispatch and on our radios, and said, why did you even send a guy up in the tree? You don't know what kind of fuel. Now, we didn't see any fuel, and it was a small plane, but I think that they had a pretty good point in saying, hey, you probably shouldn't have sent somebody up there until we could really do an investigation into, if that place, if it would have blown up, but at the same time, I mean, the engine was totally out, and we didn't smell any fuel. So I don't know exactly how or what happened with that, or why. Maybe he didn't have any fuel. I don't know. But So we actually had to put a line on the ground and sit on that line for about 2 or 3 hours uh, before the um, before the investigators came up and said, "Okay, yeah, you're clear." So now at that point in time, we had to go and cut this gentleman out of the plane. So we got all our gear. We had to, do our stabilization tools, and they're called struts, and then marry the car to the plane to the tree, and get literally the jaws of life for the spreaders and the cutters and the ram tools and everything, and get up there and start cutting the guy out of the plane. So what's interesting, and I got a good buddy of mine. He's been one of my best friends for the entire time in the fire service. Javon, he wasn't a lieutenant, but I think he was a driver or a chauffeur. But he ended up being our emergency management chief. Um, but I remember I'm sitting on the line after we got everything done. He goes, "Good, go back to the line in case something happens." So we finally get to the point where we can take the guy out of the plane. And this must have been a little guy, but maybe it wasn't. But he didn't have a head. And I remember Javon grabbing him by the shirt and by the pant leg and pulling him out of the plane. And what was crazy was every bone in his body was broken, and his head was gone, and his heart was literally sitting. His heart was just flopped out, sitting on his chest. And I remember Javon grabbing him by the shoulder and grabbing him by the leg, and his leg was so broke up that it was like a piece of rope, just dangling. And I was like, "Holy shit!" That was the first. Well, not that was like my second gnarly call. Yeah, it was gnarly. That was like my second gnarly call. The first one was something else, and that was crazy. I guess everything's crazy, but so we got him on. We put him in the body bag, and we had the medical examiner there to pick him up so they could take him up. And I don't remember what happened. I think the speculation was he had some sort of like picking. It was like picking up a bag of jelly. Yeah, Brian, what's up, buddy? It was, and the guy was just it was what it was. He was fucked, man. Excuse my language. He was not in a good way. And that's probably my first experience of seeing something that was truly gruesome. Like I had a call about a month and a half earlier that was an extreme emergency, and it was a huge car accident on our Highway 19 that was just looked like a war zone. But it was pretty nuts, man. But it was you know it was something else, man. I couldn't but I remember everybody getting done. They thought I was all shaken up about it. But what's funny is the chief pulls me and says, "Hey man, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm fine." And what he didn't know, and here's an interesting story. So I told you guys my father was an orthopedic, or retired orthopedic surgeon. And when I was a boy, maybe 8 or 9, my dad would have. Well, my dad always had these parties. He was a big partier, but it would be like a Sunday. So this is how different it was in the '70s. It would be like this would happen all the time, by the way. And things were different back then. So this is not an exaggeration. It's just a lot different than what they were now. And so my dad back then, no cell phones or nothing. My dad would carry a pager. And my dad, I remember he's having some sort of party at the house, and he's got all his buddies there, and he's he's tearing it up, man. And his beeper goes off, and he's like, "Oh man, how about that?" And he called me Chrissy when I was a boy, and he looked at me and he goes, "Hey Chrissy, you want to go see some shit?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'll go see some shit. Why not?" So he throws me in his car, and we go drive into the hospital. And what's funny is I remember that day really well because he's walking in the emergency room, and some dude that knows him walks up, and the dude's finger was dislocated. And he's like, "Oh, Doc, man, Doc, what's going on?" My dad's name is Howard. Howard, what's going on, Doc? Look, my finger's all messed up. And then my dad goes, "Oh, let me take a look at that." And he goes, "Yeah, yeah." And he just straightens it. And the guy's like, "Oh, all right." And he goes walking off. And then we go walking into the emergency room. And as emergency room rotations, even though he's orthopedic, he didn't have to do, you do emergency room, you're not doing just orthopedics. And he did his residency at Cook County Hospital in Chicago, which was like a war zone. And then he was in Vietnam as well, and he was a medical officer on a destroyer escort, and he actually did the fleet, whatever the square. There was a bunch of other ships that he covered, so there was a huge fleet of ships he was the only medical officer for. And so we go walking in, and I think it was somebody, and I'm hazy just exactly what the issue was. I think somebody got shot in the stomach, and the way I remember it, and again, I was very young, is that the the man, my dad didn't even bother to take him to the emergency suite. He had to do something, right? Or no, I'm sorry, to a surgical suite. So he was doing something to the guy in the emergency room, right in that suite. And there was just the way the curtains kind of go around, and the curtain was halfway open, and I was sitting at the base of the bed, and my dad has his hands like sunk into this guy's stomach about that far, whatever he was doing. And I remember watching, I'm like, man, I don't know what I was looking at, but there's blood all over the place. My dad looks over his shoulder at me and he winks. And I was like, oh, like that's so cool. So what I'm getting at is when I had that call, I was already trained to see that kind of stuff, man. It didn't bother me. Other stuff bothered me, but gore never really had an issue with me. I think the only thing that's ever bothered me was the wailing of the women. You know what I mean? You'd see somebody die, or suicide, and then we find him, and then we got to tell. I'd have to tell the, especially when I was a lieutenant, I'd have to tell the wife or whomever that they passed, that they committed suicide, and then they were no longer there. And that was always telling people that their loved one had passed, whether it's heart attack, suicide, or whatever, was not. I'm probably going to get hit with something on YouTube here for this, so I'm sorry, YouTube. I'll blank this out. But it was tough, but it is what it is. So that was kind of my business for then. That's another story, and we got 15 people on. So I'm going to actually go into a little Q&A if you've got some questions for me. We've gone about 47 minutes. I try to go about an hour on this. If you don't have any straight up questions, I just wanted to give a few shout outs to some people that have been inspiring me on this YouTube journey. Oh, and guys, I don't know who all knows, but I'm at 1,017 subs. How I got to 1,000 is crazy, and I'm thankful for it, and it's really cool. Is everybody still on? I don't see a lot of not that it's a big deal about responses and everything, but now when no one's really saying anything, I'm wondering if anybody's still on. Did I get kicked off? Did you? Man, Cap, I love you, man. Hey, did you get? Yo. Thanks, David. Gotcha, Randy. Oh, Randy, man, what's up, buddy? That's awesome. Randy, happy to see you here, man. But 1,017 subs, and I'm blessed to have done that. Yeah, it's a nutty story, man. But the subs is going really well, and as of right now, I've got I think almost 1,900 valid watch hours, and it's going really well, and I'm thankful. And I didn't expect this. Thank you, if that was you, Cap. I didn't expect things to take off like this, and that's a whole story. Yeah, me too, man. But glad your kids weren't in the car. But I'm thankful, and this has been great. And if I'm not sure if you guys saw my last video, 20 years left. It's actually doing really well for my videos in the last 28 days, but on YouTube. And the 20 years left is kind of a thing about talking about 20 years. I'm really in the last be in touch. Yeah, dude. Next time. Oh, you were in Indian Rocks, brother. If you're in Indian Rocks Beach, yeah, get in touch with me on it because I'm 15 minutes from Indian Rocks Beach. My dad lives in Bel Air, which is 5 minutes from Indian Rocks Beach. Hmm. I grew up on Indian Rocks Beach, so you're there. You get in touch with me, I'll take you out, and I'll take you to some of the best places around. I'll take you not only to the IRB, but there's a downtown area called Dunedin, a little about 20 minutes north of Indian Rocks Beach. That is absolutely it's awesome, and it's kind of a local place. So it's a city, a big downtown thing. I mean, it does have a lot of tourists, but it's awesome, and that's where I like to go. I mean, I kind of avoid the beach, I think, because I grew up here, and it doesn't really hold the same value as other things do. You guys think the talk of the self um, people taking their own self? I wonder if that's going to get me jammed up on YouTube. Probably will. I'm going to have to go through and delete that out. Um, yeah, man. Yeah, I understand retirement, man. My retirement. Tom, is that where I'd mentioned that you? I heard you talking about you had lived on the west coast of Florida for a little bit, and I was wondering if you were around here when you were playing guitar and everything. And it really has changed. Clearwater Beach, south all the way down to Madeira, Treasure Island, Indian Rocks, Indian Shores. Um, those that believe it or not, a lot of that stuff has remained, but it's so busy right now, and it's so crazy, especially this time of year with spring break. I avoid like just driving down to the beach right now. Uh, I don't even think about it, man. It's just not the place to be. I got a buddy of mine that lives on IRB that we meet at a couple of bars down there. I'll tell you, if you guys get down to New Rocks Beach, there's two places to go: Keegan's and Guppy's. Those two places are the best places to go. Um, but I wanted to give some shout outs. First of all, I mean, you guys are here. Shout outs are here. I mean, I wanted to give a shout out to Captain Burley Slice. Of course, you're here. HK Chris is, or MKE Chris is here. I was going to give you a shout out. Um, there's actually a fellow that's been really doing me solid. He's got a new channel. He's only got about 92 subs, which is great. But his name is Darren Casa T, and I watched a few of his videos today, and I really like him. And he's really solid, really nice cadence. I enjoy listening to him. If you guys have a chance, look at Darren Casa T. So it's Darren DAREN Casa CASA. Frenchies Frenchies is all right. I've gotten hammered in Frenchies many times. Check out Darren Cassity, Pipe Hunter. I wanted to give him a heads up and a shout out. And then Porch Piper Tom, you're here, and I wanted to give you a shout out. These are people that, Adventure. Have you guys been watching Adventures with a Pipe? The guy from Scotland. The guy, if it's not Scottish, it's crap. That guy is his stuff. He does such neat stuff, man. And maybe it's just I've got some Scottish heritage. I used to compete in the Highland Games. I have a kilt. Adventures has a great channel. He really does. Poor Tom, I'm loving his channel, and I love your channel, Tom. And yeah, Darren is a good Darren. I'm enjoying Darren. Yeah, man, check it out. And Adventures with a Pipe. I don't know what it is, man, but he goes to those really great places and talks some history, smokes a pipe while talking. He's a young man. I think his name is Paul. If I'm wrong, please somebody tell me. But I really enjoy his stuff, and I enjoy Cap stuff and the Pipe Hunter stuff, and of course Porch Pipe Tom, dude. Tom, you inspire me all the time when I watch your stuff, and I always walk away feeling better. So it's awesome, and I really appreciate it. And Chris, you're really killing it with everything. And um, I tell you what, the most thing, and I'm rambling, guys, but screw it, I don't care. Um, this pipe community is really, really awesome. And everybody is kind in there. And there's something about smoking a pipe. I think if you smoke a pipe, you have a, there's a trait to you about patience and, um, and kindness. I don't know what it is, but it's like everybody in this community is great. And parsimonious, yeah, you bet, Tom. Parsimonious Piper, I like quite a bit too. He's got some really great content. I've been trying to get an email for him because I want to get him some stuff as well. And I tell you what I'm going to do too that I just thought of, and I have to figure this out. So everyone does the pipe giveaways and things like that. So I'm going to figure out story to come soon, David. He is home and a little bit legit medical issue. All right. Firehouse Kitchen Table Talk, brother. Dude, it's either a table talk or a God, I'm losing my mind on stuff, but it was like sitting in the back of the truck, not the back of the truck, but after a fire. Um, boy, and I'm really drawing a blank where we used to all sit down at the back of the truck and just do a huge relive of what we just did and what we did right and wrong. Um, but I think I'm going to put together a hot wash. Yes, that's it. I'm going to put together a giveaway in the next couple of weeks, if not the next week. I'll announce it on the next live. But I want to give away a bunch of, beard balm, mustache wax. I want to give a nice package away. Not my package, but a nice. That came out totally wrong. A a nice amount of stuff to someone, and figure out how I'm going to do that. And that's right. And I just got to figure that out. I don't know how that works. And like I know that Maine Piper, I should have brought him up too. That fella, what's his name? Yep, Cap. The gentleman from Maine that reads the stories. God, what is his name? I watch him constantly. I love his stuff, and I've had a few, so I'm starting to lose it. I'm freaking tired too, so it's like whatever. Anyhow, guys, check out my new video if you can. The 20 years left. It's been a good one, and yeah, North Main Piper something. Yeah, he's I really like his channel too, and he's got a really unique and happy way of speaking, and I always want to sit and watch him, and I enjoy what he's doing. And I'm getting into watching everybody, and I try to support everybody. And if I'm forgetting somebody, I apologize, but I'm sure I'll get to everybody else. But these are the ones that are standing out to me currently, and I'm really enjoying it. So, boys, so boys, good Lord, Maine North, that's him. Yep, that's it. So, boys, thank you, and um, I'd love to talk to any of you guys about doing, you know, splits and I guess like a screen where we're doing this together and a live together. I'm open for anything that anybody wants to do. Contact me on oldmancopper.com, info at oldmancopper. You can contact me on Instagram, contact me here. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and enjoying it. But I really just the community is beyond my reach, not reach, but beyond my scope. You guys are just so great. And actually, I started looking into. Have a great night. You too, buddy. Randy, have a good one, buddy. Thanks, Tom. And so I'll talk to you, all you guys, later. And if you get a chance, check my stuff out. But love you all, and thank you. Good Lord. Thank you for everything. I'll keep rambling if I don't stop now. So you guys have a great night, and I will see you soon. And Cap, if you got something going on, let me know. Let me know when you get the pomade. All right, buddy. So you guys have a good one. Hopefully, I won't get later. I'll hope I won't get jammed up with the talks of self harm. All right, boys. Love you. All right, I'm getting off right now. See ya.